You're watching SBoyTV.
All right, man. Who we got on the backdrop right now? Go ahead and introduce yourself to the people, man.
We got the one and only Jamar Marreign. Don't forget the last name. I'm a music artist, event host, educator, photographer, a whole bunch of other shit. Jack of all trades, for real.
Yeah, that's real, man. A lot of people are a jack of all trades, but they're not good at everything, though. So how is that for you, though? Like being able to be good at all of them.
It is a challenge because it's like sometimes I do be feeling like I should focus on one thing instead of being ordinary at a whole bunch of shit. You feel me? But I do feel like I do my best to do a good job at being great at everything I do. But I mean, it's impossible to really like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I think I do my best at it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Where do you think that passion came from? Like, so was it always like how you was life growing up wise?
Always. So like I always say, like I was that kid with the brush in the mirror, you know what I'm saying? Like I used to always pretend to do interviews and like pretend to perform and like all that. And even when I was a kid, me and my cousin had this music group. We used to perform in front of our family, and like we just knew that we was gonna be like big ass stars. You couldn't tell us nothing different. Like we knew like we was gonna be like we was gonna blow tomorrow, you know. And I low key miss that because as a kid you really think like you see it, you can feel it, you can like it's right there. You feel me? And then as you get older, like I guess things start getting a little bit more realistic, and you be like, damn, I ain't gonna never make it. Which I mean, they ain't realistic, but you know what I'm saying? Like the doubt starts to come in. But yeah, the passion was always there. My biggest influence was my big brother Keith and my grandma. Oh damn, I ain't got my grandma. I always say my grandma gave me two gifts that nobody else can give me, and that's music and God. So yeah, I always had that passion.
Music and God. Wow. So she introduced you to that?
To both things. She was like, well, one, we used to like play church, so I would have like the vacuum cleaner as my mic. You feel me? And we'd be like literally having a whole church service. I'll be the pastor. I'll get a word. She'd come up do a song. I'll come up do a song. We doing tithes and offering and everything, like the whole service. So she really gave me the gift of music and God. Like she had me in church. My very first performance was in a church with her. You know what I'm saying? So
wow.
yeah, shout out to her. That was like my best friend.
Yeah, man. Sorry to hear that too, man.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, sure, man. So did she get to see you do all these things though?
Not to his like full capacity. My grandma passed away my 11th grade year. I was definitely doing music at that time though, because I think I started really doing music for like my 9th grade year or 10th. So it was like just starting. I wasn't like doing showcases and like really making a name for myself. It was just more so like putting music out. So yeah, I would say a little bit.
Okay. Did you turn up right after that? Like when that happened, did you just use that for motivation?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, definitely. I started really like being everywhere. Like I used to be at every showcase. I was winning every showcase. Since I was still in high school, I used to always come out with a big crowd, you know what I'm saying? So it really was, it put me out there to be able to make a name for myself. Like a lot of people know who Tez Honcho is when I was going by Tez Honcho. Like that was a name that, you know, like people knew about or at least heard of, because I was just always like constantly at stuff and just like applying pressure. And I definitely feel like me losing her definitely put that like fire under me to be like, all right, like, you know,
yeah.
Especially because like my grandma wasn't able to see me graduate or drive a car, none of that. Like all those moments where you like as a kid, you want to hear people tell you that you're proud of them. I mean, people tell you that they're proud of you. Like I missed that from her. Like I ain't hear her tell me she was proud of me when I got my first car or when I walked across that stage at graduation. And those are moments that I was like, God, please let my grandma make it to see me, you know, do this and do that. And like it didn't happen. So for a long time, I was actually like really mad at God for that. But we good now.
Yeah. Y'all good now. So talk to me about the rebrand, the name change. What's the difference between Tez Honcho and
Jamar Marreign? The difference between Tez Honcho and Jamar Marreign, I would say that like Jamar Marreign is of course like my most authentic self. Not saying that Tez Honcho is not me or not like who I am, but he's just like a part of me. I feel like Jamar Marreign like embodies like everything of who I am and just fully like being me, so where I can look back on my life and be like, damn, like I lived for me, and I ain't got no regrets.
Do people still call you Tez Honcho?
They do, but I'm cool with that. Like okay. I actually be preferring it. Like when they be at my events, they be like, Tez, I mean my bad, Jamar. I be like, no, Tez is cool, you know. Honcho is cool, like whatever, you know. Yeah. But cause that's still me. Yeah, it's just had to switch it up a little bit. Okay. New nigga with a new name, new nigga different shoe game, you know.
Like you gotta put that in the rap.
Yeah, yeah, that's the plan.
Now, how would you describe the type of music that you make?
Hip hop, R&B, pop. I'm very versatile. I feel like I can hop on anything. But lately I've been really like stepping into that like pop lane and like really switching up and playing with my sounds and being experimental and just trying new things. So yeah, I would say that I'm very versatile. I can pretty much do anything. I just did a gospel record on my last project too.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
How was that for you?
Dope for sure, especially because like I said, coming from that influence of having my grandma, you know, like that was a moment to where it's like, all right, yeah, this is definitely something I got to do. And I'm now thinking about doing like a live performance video of something like that. You ever seen that I Miss You Already song by what's her name, Mona Leo? I think that's how you said it.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen it though.
You got it. It's dope.
It's dope.
You got to check it out. Like I play that song every day, bro.
Okay.
But it's not a gospel song, but it got a gospel vibe to it. So I want to do like a live performance version of my song, kind of like that.
Okay.
But yeah, the song is called Grateful. It's featuring this artist named Derek. It's on all platforms. Derek is a super dope, talented artist. So I was like super honored to work with him, especially on a record like that.
Okay. Now I did see that you do wear many hats. I seen your bio say educator too, host of course, YouTuber,
Yep.
Of course, an artist as far as music, man.
Yeah.
How do you balance all that, man?
I will say I'm really organized and really calculated and like serious about what I do. You feel me? So like I found a way to make it work. I definitely do wish that I could just be like, all right, I'm gonna just forget all that and just focus on this one thing. Like I said, like I'd rather be great at this one thing instead of ordinary a whole bunch of things. But it's so hard to do that, especially when like, you know, it's things that you love and it's things that's bringing in income. You know what I'm saying? So when you like, dang, like I ain't gonna do another photo shoot. I'm gonna just focus on, you know, it's like you stopping your money, you know? So, and it's things that I'm passionate about too, so it's really hard to. But I feel like just staying focused, staying calculated, actually being organized, you know what I'm saying, coming up with a to-do list every day, knowing when to say no to certain things, because that's one thing that I'm trying to like, I feel like I learned that, but I kind of forgot it all along the way, so I'm trying to remind myself of that. You can't say yes to everything. Like, know when to be able to be like, I can do that, and be like, I really would love to be there, I really love to come through, but I can't, you feel me? Yeah. So really learning the power of no.
Okay. Yeah, I like that. Power of no. Yeah. So what artists would you say inspire you?
A whole bunch. So I say Wayne, Nicki, August Alsina, Big Sean, Janae.
You taking us through an era right now.
It's a whole bunch of vibes. K. Michelle, and then like newer artists. I would say newer artists lately has been like, I really love Leighton Green, and I really love Lil Nas. So I would say all of them put together.
Yeah, that's a lot of talent you just shared, brother.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, man, that's dope. So touch on the educator part for me. How did you get into that?
Man, so I was watching Freedom Writers, and I had saw, you know, we watch Freedom Writers all the time. Like, I'm sure that that's something that we like seen growing up or like seeing in school and stuff like that. So I had seen it many a times, but watching it again, being an adult, it kind of hit me different. Like, it was like late at night. I don't remember what time it was. But it was like late at night. I was watching this movie, and I just started crying. And then I don't know if it started that night or the next morning. I was looking up like what I got to do to become a teacher. How much do teachers make? What's the average salary? Yada yada yada. And then right after I graduated, I was watching Freedom Writers again. And I made a post, and I was like, I really want to be a teacher. And I didn't even know it, but one of my followers was an HR guy at a school, and he was like, "No, are you for real? Because I can get you a job like tomorrow." And then I did my interview, and it was just like started from there. I really wanted to be able to be in a position to make impact. Like, making impact is important to me. And I know that I had so many educators that has impacted me in ways that some of them don't even know, but some of them do know. Like, I still have educators that is still in my life or have, you know, helped me make big decisions in my life. So I was like, I want to be that kind of teacher, like that kind of teacher that you like invite to your graduation party and stuff like that years later because of the impact that they made on you, and they help shape you to who you are. And I feel like I have been doing that. I know that within these 2 years of me teaching, I've been able to make great impact, and I'm really proud of that, for real.
No, I literally was just speaking to a teacher. I didn't have him as a teacher, but the person I was with had him as a teacher. Right. And we talked about impact, and we talked about how teachers are like mentors, and how she said she was actually closer to this teacher than her own parents. And she said it'd be like that a lot because you spend more time with them. They hear you more. They teaching you. They actually give you some form of attention. And she said it really helps. So I'm glad you are in that position to be able to do that, man. So how do you go about that though? Because are you ever worried if your students find out that you make music too, or that you throw parties or throw events?
Man, they know my life more than I know my life.
What grade level you got though?
So I teach middle school. So when I first started last year, I was teaching 5th and 6th. This year I teach 6th and 7th.
And then what subject?
Music and broadcast journalism.
Okay.
So when I first started, it was my plan to keep those two worlds separate, right? It was just one day where I'm like, man, we having a good day, like it was just one class I was really like vibing with, because when I first started at my school, we were in horrible shape, right? So we had like a teacher that quit, and I ended up having to cover her class. So now I went from just only teaching music to like teaching them everything for like 2 weeks. So I started to bond with these kids. So I'm like, all right, like I'm gonna play y'all one of my songs, right? Not even thinking that this was gonna change everything. I really didn't think it all the way through, I suppose. So I played them one of the songs. They was getting a little bit loud, so I paused the video. When you pause the video, the name and the title pops up.
Ooh.
Right? So they like, and this was been a thing that they've been trying to find out. Because on the first day I told them, like, yeah, I do music, They're like, what's your name? I'm like, no, I can't tell y'all.
Yeah.
So when it popped up, they like, I saw it. Yeah, it was said this, da-da-da-da. I went home that night, and I had new YouTube comments, new followers, all this. I'm like, oh, man, like this about to be a whole thing. And there was a lot of stuff that was on my YouTube channel that like I wouldn't want my students to see, and stuff that I wouldn't want them to know. So I immediately had to like take that stuff down. I had to have a conversation with, like, I didn't have to, but I immediately went to HR to make sure. I'm like, hey, like, let me get ahead of this. Like, these topics is arising in class. Like, you know what I'm saying? But looking back, I'm grateful that it happened. Even though I wanted to keep the two separate, I'm grateful that it happened, because it furthers my impact. Like, they really able to look at me as like they big brother, they big cousin, and really look at me as a role model, and really like feel like they know me for real, and we can connect on a different level. Like, just this past year, me and two of my students, we had like, I took them to the studio and like recorded a song with them, and like we performed it in front of our school. You know what I'm saying? So like the fact that they able to see like me and my entirety is really dope. For real.
I think that's important and necessary too. And I feel you though, having to keep the two worlds separate. That's why I even asked you the question, because I know it's like for some reason they just don't mix to what people would think. But when you do mix it, you can see a lot of benefits in it too.
I would definitely say so. Like at first I was like, dang, I hate that this happened. But like looking back, I'm really grateful that like my students like know me for real. And still, like, it's not like to the point where we too cool, you know what I'm saying? Like, they still respect me. I still have great classroom management. I'm still a great teacher, but like, I'm still a real person, and y'all know that real person side of me too, you know? And to think of that is like crazy to me, because none of my teachers, I'd never seen that side of them. Even to see them outside of school was weird, or even to find a Facebook page, and their Facebook page be private, but just seeing a picture of them, it's just like, dang, this is weird. Like, you're a real person out of school. But like, literally, we come back on Monday, and I'll be like, what y'all do over the weekend? And then they'll tell me or whatever. And then the person would be like, Mr. J, what you do over the weekend? It'd be somebody like, he did this. Like, and it'd be like, dang, I did. I forgot about that. Like, so they be knowing my life better than me. But at the end of the day, it'd be like, dang, it's kind of cool,
Yeah, so I guess for you in your position, you be more strategic about how you use your platform.
Yeah.
What you say?
Yeah. Definitely like more mindful. I mean, I ain't gonna lie and sit here and act like I try to be like super positive all the time and super role model. Like, I don't cuss on Instagram or anything like that. But I definitely be like mindful. Like, it might be certain stuff I want to repost where I'm like, no,
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely more mindful.
Yeah, somebody have a Vlad moment. So, what advice would you get a Jamar with using his platform to be able to?
I really don't know for real, because when I just saw the interview, I saw like, I didn't see the full interview. I saw like a clip of the interview he did with Jalen Rose, and like, I ain't like it for real. I was just like, dang, if this was me, I probably wouldn't even want to speak on this. Like, I just would hope that it just passed or whatever. But it is such a big deal being in that field. But it's like, we see people do that all the time, like flashing and, like living that type of life. And like, he get that vibe, but that's the type of, person he is. So it's just like, dang, why can't I be myself and be good at sports and do what I do?
And still have people looking up to me, you know what I'm saying? Being a role model, you know what I'm saying? And I do.
To be a positive impact, but so that it always don't look a certain way. And I'm not always in a certain manner all the time, right? But I still am successful. I still know how to conduct myself. I still know how to move. And you know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like it don't got to be. When I saw the apology and all that, it was just like, dang, like, I don't know. I didn't like it.
Yeah, it felt forced.
Yeah.
But I will say, like, it's tough. It's tough because
I'm glad you asked me about some basketball shit I know about because I don't know shit about basketball. So,
well, no,
yeah.
it's tough though. But I actually hear it from you too though because both of you guys are role models to kids, children. Fix my language, children. You know what I'm saying? So, people looking up to you, you do have a certain level of responsibility, but you still got to grow too.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? You got to grow too. And they got to see the growth. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like it might take them time to realize that when they get older and they see, like, low key, Ja wasn't wrong.
Yeah.
Man. Mr. J wasn't wrong.
Yeah.
Man, like, they start to see it. So I think that's good, though. You know what I'm saying? And
I
just
agree.
that representation in the classroom, bro, that's big.
I agree.
Big.
It's important.
Yeah. So what advice would you give to somebody that is talented in so many different areas and they balancing a lot, man? I want you to touch on some advice for them because I know a lot of youth right now, they in high school and they got so many options because they so good at so many different things.
Yeah.
What advice would you give them?
It's so much. I don't know for real. So my brand is called Nights No Sleep Full of Dreams. The reason was because I had did this showcase with DJ BJ, and it was like a big deal for me at the time. Like I was like I mean, I ain't gonna say at the time because even because BJ came into my career at such an early age, like I still like look at him and like respect him so much and like get nervous when I'm around him because I just want his approval. But that night I was like standing up and beating myself up and tearing myself apart because it was like why am I not doing this or why am I not in this position? Why this haven't happened for me yet? Yada yada. Like we had those moments where we just kind of like. Our thoughts just keep going and like one thought leads to a million and like you just can't stop, right? So I would say like to trust your journey and know that like everything ain't gonna be easy all the time. Know that, you know, it takes the strongest steel to go through the hottest fire. Know that strong walls shakes but they don't collapse. Know that there's no final form of self. Continue to keep working on yourself and continue to keep growing and be teachable. It's important to be teachable because a lot of times we be feeling like we know certain things or we feel like we that and we not that and we need to learn some things and we need to grow and we need to look back and be reflective a little bit to figure out in what areas can we improve and in what areas can we grow. You're not going to be like super successful unless you're able to take feedback and be able to adjust yourself and then position yourself for more constantly and constantly adjusting. So I would say, all those things.
Man, that was a bar. You know what I'm saying? That was a gym, a bar, all that. You know what I'm saying?
For real, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A teacher saying be teachable is funny. I ain't gonna lie. But no, that's facts.
And I'll be even telling my students that. I'll be like, you know, I even said this in a meeting the other day because they was telling me I was being unprofessional with a parent because I had this parent that was trying to argue with me and it had went left or whatever. And I was telling them in the meeting, like, you know, in order to be a good teacher, you have to be a good student. So, like, please know that I am teachable and that, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm taking everything in and I'm learning and I will adjust, you know, because I feel like that is important overall. And that's something I got from Freedom Raiders. Yeah. Like, she said that in the movie. She was like, in order to be a good teacher, you have to be a good student. I think she said that to the principal or something, like, in a meeting that they had. But, like, that stuck with me.
Dang, that's dope. So, what can we expect from you this year?
Consistency. I've been dropping a lot of videos. Well, I just dropped the visual to my song called Stay In, which is kind of like a nice little chill like vibe about just staying in the crib. And then I have one of my favorite songs on my project called I Don't Belong Here. The visual for that is dropping this upcoming Monday, actually, on the 20th. So yeah, I plan on dropping a new visual every month and then really like Nights No Sleep Showcases is back. I just did my first show in February. Instead of me doing the monthly now, I'm doing them every other month. So it'll be a total of 6 shows this year. Super excited about that because like that's my baby and a brand that I've been growing for a long time. But now I'm kind of like thinking more strategic about ways of how I can make the experience better, ways of how I can make sure I'm not just spinning in the same spot. Like how can I elevate what I'm doing every time? So yeah, Nights No Sleep, more visuals, and hopefully new music.
Man, last question, man. 5 years from now, where can we expect to see your career at?
5 years from now, hopefully I'm not teaching. I mean, that would be cool, but hopefully I'm like, you know, on. You feel me? But whatever the case may be, hopefully I'm in a position to where I'm making impact and I'm making a change and I'm making a difference and really like living every day and being grateful for every day and having a huge sense of gratitude because none of this is promised, you know. So like even to be here in the next 5 years is enough for me because I know me, I know I'm gonna be doing like good regardless. So I don't know. I feel like I'm giving a weak ass answer.
No,
but I feel like I should be saying something more.
Bro,
but yeah,
real.
I don't know.
That was real. You just said it'd be a blessing to even be here 5 years from now.
Type shit.
That's
real.
all I needed to hear.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's real, man.
Yeah.
So lastly, man, just let the people know where they can follow you at and stay connected with you.
You can follow me on all social media platforms at Jamar Marreign. That's JamarMarreign. Follow Nice on Super Full of Dreams Showcase at NNSFD Showcase. And yeah, just stay in tune with the brand, stay in tune with me, my music, but also the Showcase series and all these other artists that I'm creating this platform. And since I'm building my own platform, I want to say that I appreciate platforms like this. I think what you guys are doing is super dope. I'm honored to be here, honored to be a part of the platform. So shout out to SBoy Promotions and shout out to my dog AyeWhy for keeping his word and making sure that I, was here and a part of this. I'm honored to be a part of this and to see other people doing dope things for artists in the city. And most importantly, because a lot of this shit, and I say this all the time, a lot of this shit is really about the cheese for real. How can I profit off of artists and how can I eat off these niggas? So I love when I'm a part of platforms where I feel like it's genuine and the artist is put first because I've been a part of shows that I'm partnered with other people and I'm like, yeah, you don't value the artist as much as I do, right? And I've also been the artist that has been a part of platforms where I'm like, I don't feel valued, you know what I'm saying? So I love when I'm a part of a platform and when I'm trying to make sure that my platform is always given, we care about the artist. We want to make this a platform to where it's, a good experience for you and something that is helping you get to where you got to go. So shout out to SBoy Promotions.
Man, you just did a commercial for us, man.
Yeah.
Really appreciate it.
Yeah, for sure, man.
For sure. We out.